Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. Well, today, a very a prominent case which went on for last almost 1 year in Bangladesh. The former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Hasina Wajid, has been sentenced the capital punishment. That the death sentence has been awarded by the special tribunal today, and she was also on some other accounts were awarded the life imprisonment. There were certain other officials and the ministers who were also sentenced in this entire case. The case was, that she has ordered killing of the civilians for 1400. According to the United Nations, 1400 civilians were being killed during the protest and the clashes. So that was the crime against the humanity that the court has announced today. I have a very prominent journalist from Dhaka, Bangladesh, Mr. Muhammad Kamruzzaman. He is a senior journalist in Bangladesh. Thank you very much, Mr. Kamar, for joining me here. Kindly tell me first, what is the present situation in Dhaka and other areas in Bangladesh?
Thank you very much for having me. Actually, from morning till now, there is tense prevailing across the capital Dhaka as well as other parts of the country. You know that centering this much awaited verdict, actually, there were some political violence in the last couple of weeks because, Sheikh Hasina ruled this country without any break for the last nearly 16 years, and she established an authoritarian regime. And at that time, huge number of people loyal to Sheikh Hasina and her political party, Bangladesh Awami League, were recruited almost in all vital sectors. So there are so many supporters of Awami League also, and most of the top leaders fled outside the country, but it's still some cadres there in the country. So among the mass people, there were some panic that anything may happen. For example, there were setting fire on some public transports and other settlements that happened in the last couple of weeks. So people were panicked. That's why the common people's presence on the streets were a little bit low today. However, amid tight security, with the presence of army, with the presence of Border Guard Bangladesh, Rapid Action Battalion RAB, and other regular law enforcers, the verdict declaration was started. And the judge read the verdict almost 2 hours, or more than 2 hours actually. The key points of the verdict was read out. And throughout the whole day, there were tents. And just few minutes back, I came from Dhanmondi 32. Dhanmondi 32 is the residence of former Bangladeshi President Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who was the father of Sheikh Hasina, and that house was demolished earlier. But there are some parts still untouched. So the protesters today even went to demolish the rest part of that building, and they were so angry because in the last couple of days, Hasina, who is now absconding in India, from staying there, she was trying to infiltrate her supporters to hold demonstrations here and to protest here. And the style of protest of Awami League actually always violence. So people were, especially the youth protesters, were so much aggrieved. So they went to Dhanmondi 32. It is almost in the central Dhaka. But some moments back, police and the army, they dispersed the agitated students with the sound grenade and tear shells, as well as a baton charging. However, the whole day today was so much tense, so much the tensions prevailing across the whole Dhaka city as well as other parts of the country, and
Okay,
people
okay.
were so much ecstatic to hear the final verdict, and even the courtroom was packed with so many journalists, so many July uprising time victims, injured people, and the relatives of martyrs. So after the judgment, they burst out in ecstasy, but they are still now demanding to take initiative by the interim government led by Professor Yunus to take back Sheikh Hasina as soon as possible so that the death penalty or capital punishment can be executed.
Okay, Kamar, kindly tell me that what is the mood of the journal masses, the entire nation, um, when this verdict was being announced by the tribunal judges?
Yes, it's a very interesting question. Thank you so much. Actually, you know that this tribunal, International Crimes Tribunal, was formed by Sheikh Hasina administration in 2010, and Sheikh Hasina actually established this tribunal to judge the political opponents of her, especially the leaders of Bangladesh Jamaat Islami and the now the leading existing political party, Bangladesh Nationalist Party (BNP), and very proudly she formed these tribunals. There were so many scandals during that trial process. For example, abduction of eyewitness from the tribunal gate, and interrogation of some eyewitness in the safe home. So there are so many scandals. But the same tribunal is there conducting crimes against humanity against dethroned Sheikh Hasina. So it's very interesting. And even this court, the message of the verdict was that anyone, whatever powerful, how much powerful he or she may be, if anyone establish authoritarian and dictatorship in the name of democracy today or tomorrow, he or she must be guilty and must face trial or punishment. And the destiny of Sheikh Hasina reminds this truth before the whole nation. And it's a great lesson for the political leaders across the whole world. Actually, there are so many political leaders who are mentally dictator, though they sometimes try to rule the country in the name of democracy. So this is a great lesson also for the politicians of this country, because they tend of politics here. Sometimes we see that whenever anyone goes to power, he or she try to dictate like a dictator. So this is a great lesson actually for the whole politicians.
Well, Kamar, please tell me that why why the people last year in August, and even before that, during that entire period of protest against the former prime minister who has uh, fled to India. She has just taken a refuge over there. Why people were not happy with her government, who had ruled for almost 16 years without any interruption, without any interference?
Actually, there are multiple reasons. You know that you said that who ruled the country uninterruptedly for nearly 16 years. Actually, there were three national elections during Sheikh Hasina regime. Sheikh Hasina came to power in 2009 following 2008 December national election. But Sheikh Hasina ruled the country with huge allegations and reports of corruption and torturing on the opponent voices. There were huge incidents of extrajudicial killings, enforced disappearances, and due to corruption and looting and money laundering, there were huge economic crises across the whole country. In every vital department of the government were full of corruption. So people were almost in a suffocating condition, and the price of daily commodities reached to a skyrocketing level. So there were dissatisfactions among the mass people hugely, but there was no scope to raise the voice of the mass people, even if anyone posted anything on social media page with slight criticism of the then Sheikh Hasina administration, he or she faced trial, and there were huge torturing. You have heard the name of the House of Glass, secret detention center, and it was a matter of almost regular practice that anyone may be abducted anytime by law enforcers, but later the law enforcers denied. And even there were hundreds of such incidents that after such abduction, those persons were found with bullet injuries. Actually, not those persons, the dead bodies of those persons were found here and there. So there was a panic among the mass people, among the politicians, and there were economic crisis. So people were so much aggrieved, but there was no way to outburst. But when the student started a very minor movement named Quota Reform Movement against the discrimination in government job in the name of quota, and in that quota system, the then ruling Awami League Party also established corruption. In the name of quota, they actually recruited their loyal people. So dissatisfaction was not only among the mass people, but among the students, meritorious students, and among the deprived people. So whenever the student movement started, it was actually an opportunity for the mass people. So that minor movement eventually turned into mass uprising, mass revolution. And finally, after the brutal murders of 1,400 people, mostly youth and the students, according to the statement of United Nations that you have already mentioned, Sheikh Hasina was dethroned and she is now in India. So that's why, for multiple reasons, dissatisfaction rises to the high, and such a revolutionary movement has happened.
How this, I mean, the court order, this government is going to implement naturally when she is absconded, she is in India, and naturally the Indians are, protecting her. Is there any law or any authority with this government to bring her back and punish her according to the court orders?
Actually, the interim government head, Professor Muhammad Yunus, met Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and demanded to hand over Sheikh Hasina to Bangladesh for justice. But seemingly, Narendra Modi didn't respond properly, and even it seems that there is no sign that India is ready to hand over Sheikh Hasina, though there is a treaty between these two countries to exchange the prisoners, or but seemingly due in the guise of different complicated issues, the Sheikh Hasina may not be handed over so easily. But the government, interim government led by Professor Yunus, would continue try. And after this verdict, where so many journalists, international journalists, foreign observers are also present during the judgment or verdict. So it will also put pressure on Indian government, how a state, neighboring state, who claims themselves as the best friend, how they shelter a killer, a mass killer. So that will be a message to Indian government. And if Bangladesh actually will try now to take international support and international community, and you know that Dr. Yunus has a very good connectivity with the international communities. So Bangladesh will try to convince the international actors and international communities, international world, to put due pressure on India so that Sheikh Hasina can be handed over. But seemingly, of course, it will be very difficult, and India is not in such a position mentally to hand over Sheikh Hasina. So that the execution of this trial may take time, and it's really very complicated. And most people are still confused whether these trial can be executed, or this verdict can be executed.
Mr. Kamar, just tell me why she went to India. She could have gone to any other country, you know. Naturally, she had all the
Yes.
resources at that time. Why is she choose to, uh, you know, uh, go to India?
You and all journalists across the whole world, they know very well that Sheikh Hasina was the most loyal and most obedient ruler in Bangladesh, in Bangladesh's history, even who was most loyal, most subservient to India. And for continuing her power, even despite three very farcical elections, Sheikh Hasina continued her power with the one-sided support, blind support of India. So naturally, Sheikh Hasina choose to migrate to India after the mass uprising, so that she can easily come back to Bangladesh with the support of India again. Because after such massacre and such mass killing, no country may support her as she is expecting from India as a most loyal puppet of India. So naturally, she preferred to migrate to India, thinking it might be her safe haven and it might be the best place for sheltering. You know that after the killing of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who was the father of Sheikh Hasina also took shelter in India for some years. And from India, Sheikh Hasina actually returned back to Bangladesh and took part in politics again, and gradually and eventually, with the passage of time, became the prime minister and continued her dictatorship here for the last nearly 16 years.
Just tell me what the people of Bangladesh think about the Indians' involvement in the internal affairs of Bangladesh for years and years. And what is the present situation? Do you think that the Indian penetration into the various institutions of Bangladesh that has substantially reduced, or still there are loyal people who are still working for the Indians, maybe intelligence agencies, or maybe for their government, or for Sheikh Hasina?
Actually, Bangladeshi people were so much fed up against Indian activities, especially, you know, that there are 54 common rivers between these two neighboring states. And as the upstream state, India controls the waters of almost all rivers. And India has already put barrage and controlling the waters, violating all international river laws. And during monsoon period, India opened all the sluice gates, and most of the areas of Bangladesh are inundated, and floods happens here in Bangladesh almost every year. And during the dry season, when Bangladeshi people, farmers are crying for water, India closed all the sluice gates. So this why Bangladeshi people already was so much fed up. And you know that border killing is another concern for Bangladesh. Almost regularly, unarmed civilians, even farmers and normal traders, killed by Indian border security force like birds. So people were so much fed up. And after the Sheikh Hasina's regime started, it turned into a massive scale. And people even had no scope to say anything against India. And India nakedly supported Sheikh Hasina despite three very controversial elections. So the anti-Indian sentiment has been grown up in Bangladesh. And even one of the most popular slogans during the last year's Mr. Uprising was Dilli na Dhaka, Dhaka, Dhaka. In English, it means that Delhi or Dhaka, Dhaka, Dhaka. So that was a very popular slogan in Bangladesh. Still now, people chant slogan with these words. So anti-Indian sentiment is very high now due to this. And Bangladeshi people want India to hand over Sheikh Hasina, and India stop this type of partial attitude to Bangladesh. And Bangladeshi India, if India is a real friend, neighbor, India should try to establish friendship with the people of Bangladesh, not any particular political party, just to continue its hegemony and one-sided benefit from this country. So people are so much fed up now with India due to the case of Sheikh Hasina.
have has the Indians deployed, extensive troops on the border with Bangladesh in last few months or few weeks? Because there was international
Yes,
media was reporting about that.
yes, we also came to know about it, and Bangladeshi people are also concerned about it, and this type of activities of India, they are trying. Maybe I don't know why they are doing this type of immature acts. Every act of India now, maybe they're desperately doing this, and they are a little bit bewildered after seeing the destiny of Sheikh Hasina, who was the most loyal to them. But India should come to the sense, and they should stop this kind of activities that would rise the anti-Indian sentiment more and more day by day. So this is also another matter of concern of the people of Bangladesh and Bangladeshi people, even the people who live in across the border. They are so much fed up, and Bangladeshi people want to stop this immediately. And Dr. Yunus, who has a very good connectivity with the international communities, people want a solution with the strong voice of Dr. Yunus taking the support of the international community.
Okay, Zaman, please tell me that how the Bangladesh media, especially your national media as well as the international media which operates from Bangladesh, what is their opinion about the present interim setup led by Dr. Yunus? And I think that your country is going to have a election in Feb 2026, just after maybe 3 4 months.
Yes, there is a date, mid-February. Dr. Yunus didn't declare any specific date that this date the election would be held, but he very clearly said that mid-February. By mid-February, mid-February 2026, the election to be held, national election. So there is a festivity of election also, despite political tense across the whole country. And Dr. Yunus and the interim administration is taking preparation to hold the election free, fair, and participatory. And already Dr. Yunus several times committed that it will be an exemplary election so that people would remember it and place it as an example of fair election. So there is that type of preparation, but people are concerned because in the last nearly 16 years of authoritarian regime that I have already mentioned, a huge number of people in every vital sectors of the government been recruited who are so much loyal, and actually all those recruitment were done on political basis. So loyal people who are so much loyal to Sheikh Hasina and dethroned Awamin League government, they're still in the election commission, in law enforcing agencies and bureaucracies and other government departments. So that is a big challenge for the UNIS administration to hold the election free, fair, and participatory. That's why the government is also working on reforms. And some days back, I had an opportunity to take an interview with an election commissioner, and he very clearly said that they would monitor everything, and those seem to be loyal to the ex government will be changed, and new people in administration and law enforcement agencies be deployed so that the election must be held in a free, fair, and
Okay.
participatory manner
Well,
with the presence of existing political parties, except Awamin League.
will Sheikh Hasina's political party would be allowed to contest the coming elections?
That's why I mentioned it now. That you know that Sheikh Hasina's Awamin League party has been banned, government banned, because this
Okay.
party is accused of genocide during almost and human rights violation. And you know that during the regime of Sheikh Hasina, there were so many incidents of extrajudicial killings, enforced disappearances. So there are so many human rights violations under this administration. And during the mass uprising,
Right.
the work
So
of Hasina administration
sorry
was
to
also
interrupt
very.
you. Will Dr. Yunus contest the election for the post of prime minister?
No, we don't have any that type of information. But what we informally came to know that the political parties who are now in this country, from there there are some intention or some informal message that for the sake of this country, for the strong international connectivity, Dr. Yunus need more time. Maybe after the election, whoever comes to power, they may offer Dr. Yunus take the position of president or something like that, so that Yunus can also work for this country, because people are still in political party that is still intention that the Awami League leaders who are now in different countries, they laundered huge money. So the more huge money they have, and they may try to appoint lobbyists in different countries, especially in the Western countries, to destabilize this country. So if Dr. Yunus is in the front, then that will be difficult for even for India or for the ousted Awami League leaders to do anything against the upcoming regime. That's why Dr. Yunus may be offered to stay in any key position of the next government.
That's great. Okay, tell me. Recently, we have seen a lot of visits between Pakistan and Bangladesh. The civilian as well as the military, the armed forces, senior leadership, they are coming and going between the two countries. So, how the media in Bangladesh as well as the people of Bangladesh are viewing these engagements between the two countries?
Bangladeshi people are very positively taking those engagement, and even there were some fear with the stall of Pakistani products. Actually, Bangladeshi people always consider Pakistan as a friendly country, and even during the cricket match, this is very commonly said that. 90% people or 80 more than 80% people support Pakistan cricket team whenever Pakistan and India play on the ground. So Bangladeshi people always have a very soft corner for Pakistani people, and many Pakistani products like the female garments and ceiling fan or many other product that is very favorite here in Bangladesh. So both countries can work in agriculture, in garment industry, and even there are some big garment factory owned by Pakistani people here in Bangladesh. Both countries have huge scope to work for the mutual interest, and even if both countries unitedly work, they can play a pivotal role in different international crises also, and in the whole region, especially the SARC, that can be strengthened by the joint efforts of Bangladesh and Pakistan. So there are huge scopes to work together for mutual interest.
Finally, uh, do you what the scholars and the people who are in the universities, when they look in towards the defense of their country, uh, do they see towards the China and the Chinese technologies? uh, China naturally is coming to be one of the biggest. It is the second largest economy at the moment, but it is going to replace the Americans maybe after 3, 4, 5 years. And similarly, on economy side, they are growing as well as on the defense side. So, what the Bangladeshi scholars and people who are related to the security, what they think about the security of Bangladesh?
Actually, the scholars and even this interim government not only thinking about this issue, defense sector, for help from China. No, they are also trying to build up defense relationship with even Turkey, and even Bangladesh and Pakistan can also work in defense sector. So Bangladesh now, the sentiment of Bangladeshi people now that work with everyone. Bangladesh as an independent state can work and can stand as an independent state. And the main threat, honestly speaking, from India. So the border should be very secured, and the sky route should be very secured. So Bangladesh, that's why Bangladesh is also trying to improve its defense sector with the help of China, with the help of Turkey, and many other countries, even Russia. Not only Bangladesh is concentrated to China, but also other countries. And Bangladesh now want to get rid of the hegemony of India. That's the main target of Bangladeshi politicians and people now.
Final question. Since you said that there was a time when Hasina went to India, and then she came back, and then she was in power for years and years. Do you see that once again she must be thinking that somehow she'll re-engage with the people of Bangladesh and her family, because her age is almost close to 80, and earlier she was I mean, still young. We can't say that she was a young, but still, she had the energies and all that. But now she is growing older. uh, she may be thinking about launching any other family member to be a part of the politics in Bangladesh.
Actually, of course, they would try, because Awamin League is a very ancient political party with huge supporters. But due to the misrule in the last 16 years, mass people went against Awamin League, and the mass popularity has downed hugely. And Sheikh Hasina's hands are already blooded with the blood of innocent people. So I don't see any scope that Sheikh Hasina may return back. Bangladeshi people, there are so many divisions among the politicians or among the people based on politics and for other reasons. But in the question of Sheikh Hasina, the people are almost united, because it is the strongest belief of Bangladeshi people that Sheikh Hasina is not safe for the interest of this country. So I think that Sheikh Hasina had no scope to come back to Bangladesh. And as you have already mentioned, that she is already nearly 80 years old, and I don't think any that type of scope. But her son or her daughter, Shoji Wajid Joy or Saima Wajid Putul, they may try, but they don't have any that type of political experience, and even they are not habituated to the politics of Bangladesh and the Bangladeshi people. So the future of Sheikh Hasina family, I don't see any that type of light. But Awamin League may try to return back, but it will take many years. Because the incidents that happened last year, people would remember it, and all the human rights violations documents are at the hand of the people. So it would not be so easy for Awamin League or Sheikh Hasina or Sheikh family to regain in the politics of Bangladesh.
Muhammad Kamruzzaman, senior journalist from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Thank you very much for joining my show tonight and giving a really extraordinary information and analysis regarding the current political situation of Bangladesh. Thank you very much for joining.